Computer. Boom, we are good to go. All right, so thank you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Chicago 45. This is our fourth episode, and we're kicking and we're moving and we're doing it. I am DeRay, I am the host, and we have our two producers, Jada and Jody. Raise your hands, Jody. All right, and we have a wonderful panel today as far as young, like people of color. It's a strong, what's that word, melon in my camera right now. All this melanated skin and all this people of color is awesome. We're going to talk about some things today. We're going to cover maybe like 3 or 4 topics that was really, really led by Jane as far as the conversation, and Jody pitched in as far as adding things to it. All right. So we got Alexi. Raise your hand, Alexi. Everybody know what Alexi is, one of my former players. We got Bella. Where do you live at? Wicker Park. You know, they got that thing in Wicker Park in Chicago. We got Bright, my Malcolm X friend. We got Amir, the radio sexy co-host over there with the mohawk. Helen, thank you. We got Matt. I be seeing Matt in the street on them pictures. And we got the young lady, Ariella. Did I say it right? No. I said it perfect. Girl, what's up? I went to school. I know how to read a little bit. All right, so my first question is, how's everybody feeling today?
Good.
Good. Okay, cool.
I'm Gucci.
You Gucci?
Yeah.
So, all right. My next question is this. All right. So, as far as all the protests that happened and all of the social injustice that's been happening the last years, but it really like heightened the last 3 or 4 months, right? And then going back to our home city, Chicago, the sudden rise of black on black murders or crimes or things, whatever you want to call it, however you want to word it. Do we feel like that is distracting everything right now? As far as like Chicago and Atlanta, they're like actually, it's like a purge going on right now, if I can use that word. Do we feel like that thing is distracting everybody from the actual problem that's at hand? Anybody can go.
I think it's distracting some. Like some people are like really distracted by that, but I know one female in particular, her name is Inglewood Barbie on Instagram. Like she's driven like with the cause and stuff and making sure the community is like it stays together. She's been doing like a lot of like fundraising and stuff like that. Like she's been like getting groceries, like buying groceries, face masks, make sure the community stays protected in that way. And there's like other influencers I follow who like still try to keep the goal of like the Black Lives Matter movement in Chicago and try to keep that going forward.
Okay, what about you, Matt? I didn't see you post a lot of pictures of you like at protests. Even before this span happened, you were out in the trenches. Do you think it's like distracting?
Well, I feel like you could say it's distracting, but at the same time, I feel like there are multiple different problems that need to be addressed. So granted, black on black crime has been a thing for a very long time. And it just, when you have so many people in the same area, so many different ideas, so many conflicting principles, of course, there's going to be like conflict. And so that's going to lead to crime. And unfortunately, that leads to death. But the main problem nowadays that we're trying to address with the Black Lives Matter movement is the main issue of police brutality. And I feel like the people who are getting distracted by the riots or the purging in Atlanta, those are the people who might be looking for something different to look for. You know, like they're looking for something to take their attention away from the actual problem at hand. Like there is no arguing, there's no debate on the fact that police brutality is a real problem and it needs to be addressed. But for people who are saying, oh, all this black on black crime, this is the reason that there's police brutality, or using black on black crime for any, like using it as a reason to explain police brutality, they're part of the problem. That's kind of how I feel.
Okay. So Jada had this question last time we were on this this show, as far as do we think your generation is taking this serious enough? Because she had like a comment as far as her generation is just like, it's kind of hard to have these conversations with the people who are let's say 23 and sophomore in high school. It's kind of hard to have that conversation. Do we think, I mean, this is for you, that your generation is taking it as serious as it should be?
To be honest with you, what I've seen lately, just with like social media wise, I feel like there are a certain type of people that are taking this seriously. I feel like that we should come together and bring more people along so they can like start to see the bigger picture. But I do believe that people are starting to take this serious because like it's happening so much. So it's like, especially for our generation, like younger people, I feel like, that people are starting to take this serious now. But I feel like that we should be like more organized and like not try to like draw like, I want to say like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like draw too much attention to ourselves, like when it comes to like the issue of like the police and stuff like that. Like I like what we do, like, and it's very powerful. Like don't get me wrong about that. And it's like I love like the way like people just come together as a whole and just protest and just tell people like how we feel and stuff like that. So
Could
yeah.
you elaborate on the part where you said don't show like not too much, don't bring too much attention to ourselves? What do you mean by that?
I meant to say like, addressing the police and stuff like that. Like try not to like, what's the word, like I want to
What,
say like
antagonize them? Don't
yeah,
don't
just
poke
like
at the bell.
yeah, like just not necessarily that, but like just coming strong and like just like and not being afraid, like being humble, like this is who we are, like we not afraid and stuff like that, not backing down, pretty much.
Okay.
So yeah, but
Lex,
like going, yeah.
my bad. So Lexi, you were in like SoCal. How was the feel there when everything was cooking up?
Believe it or not, I actually came back like mid-March because my school like literally kicked us off campus.
For sure.
So I wasn't there when everything was going down, but I was here and I did go to a protest with a few of my friends, and I feel as if people are taking it seriously, but I gotta echo what Amir just said. Like there definitely is a certain type of, like there's a niche of people who are taking it seriously. Like Black people and non-Black people, like it's a certain type of those type of people that are taking it seriously. Because for example, like a lot of the white kids that I went to high school with, they out here posting like yacht photos and like they're on the beach and stuff. And I'm like, but people who look like me are dying right now and y'all are at the beach. Like it's just a total disconnect. And like it's frustrating as hell, I'm gonna be completely honest, because it's like, how can you completely ignore like the realities of like literally like majority of the world is people of color, and we go through a lot. And so I mean, I feel like my generation, at least the people that I feel I've surrounded myself with, like my college is very political. They're very, very, very liberal. Like they have the most radical ideas that people could probably think of there. So the people that I've become friends with, they're liberal people, and they all have no problem voicing like what they believe in. And it's pretty much stuff that's in line with what's going on today with in terms of change and stuff. So I've seen positive stuff on social media, but I also have to keep in mind that my liberal college is not the rest of the world. So I can't speak for all like other groups, but from what I've seen from college, they're doing well, especially California, because it's a very liberal place. Like it's totally different from Chicago.
Well, the place I'm at, your part.
No, okay, well, LA, like everybody is Black Lives Matter protesting. I don't know if y'all have seen the visuals from like Hollywood Like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. Like, there's no civil rights picture I've seen in a textbook. Like, no, it was just like my jaw dropped seeing how many people who were not Black, like, who showed up for our community. And I don't take that like lightly. I really like appreciate that from other communities. So I feel like some of the world is getting it, but then we still obviously have a lot of the people who are at the top of these organizations and stuff who are doing performative stuff and making it like an act, like a marketing act, and that's a whole other conversation. But yeah.
Did anybody else want to add to that? Okay, cool. Nobody want to add to that? Great insight, because I do think there is a misconception with not the whole generation like moving together as a group. There is like you did say, there is some goofy balls that's out on the outskirts of it that's not doing it the right way. So as far as eluding, when that happens, yeah, people just want to do it just to be doing it. But we ain't really talking about that. We're talking about the actual masses of people who are actually behind the actual movement itself. So we do have another thing that's like looming over my bald head, right? COVID-19, right? We have that little weird. That's like this is like the perfect mixture of Kool-Aid and sugar and water, right? It just was perfect. It was like it worked out just perfect for everything to go to shit, like to hit the fan. So as far as COVID, right? There talks about school reopening again. All right, all you guys are students. Bella, how do you feel about going to school with COVID outside?
Well,
I'm gonna tie it back to race and stuff like.
Well, for NIU and my class schedule, I'm all online this semester, and I'm actually not. I'm a little upset about being online because this was my first semester finally doing classes for my major because I'm finished my gen eds. But I also feel more safer about it just because I'm not exposing myself to a bunch of students, and I don't know how their classrooms are gonna be limited, if they're limiting students in the classrooms or anything. But I am kind of upset that I am all online for my like production and media classes. But yeah.
So what if they say we open the schools? You can come on down, get your COVID in your book.
Honestly, personally, I would take all the safety precautions and maybe even extra because that's just how I am. Mask, keeping my distance from everybody, not sitting next to anyone in the classrooms, like
okay.
Distance.
Okay, well, I think the college kids, your school is going to be a lot different from Brighton, Jody, and Ari's school. Ari, are you prepared to? You go to Fenwick, right? Did she glitch out?
No, I graduated last year.
Oh, well, turn up then. So where you at? What school you at?
I'm at the University of Illinois, Chicago.
Okay, cool. So do you feel comfortable going back to school with COVID out there?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Me personally, I've seen firsthand what COVID can do to a person. So I'm not for, going back to school, doing the whole social distancing thing. Like, if I just have to be irritated online, like, that's just how it's gonna have to be. It's not worth, compromising your immune system, getting sick, possibly dying or anything like that. I get that it's gonna be a struggle, definitely. But hopefully, schools can provide a better resources than they did, like, the second half of the semester they did for colleges. I don't know how it's gonna look for high school students, but me personally, I wouldn't step back into a university right now.
Okay. Well, like I said, I think y'all spaces are gonna be a little different as far as like the freedom to like get the fuck up, walk up out of class. Like y'all can do y'all want to do. Y'all can like, I ain't going. I think Jody's and Brighton's situation is gonna be a little more trickier because like, have you guys heard anything about if school were to start back, how they would manage you guys, Jody and Brian?
Yeah, so basically we're gonna only now mind you, tuition is going up.
What?
But
It's more than
yeah,
16,000 now.
Damn,
and so
yeah.
we only going to school 2 days a week. They're giving us masks as part of our
2.
uniform that we have to wear. That you know how they're like in grocery stores, like directions on like which
You
aisle
can only go
this.
this way up this aisle.
Yeah, we got that all through the halls. I've seen it, and so after school, like you have to leave. You cannot like linger around, stuff like that. If you wait for a ride, basically you have to wait outside on the curb somewhere. And what else?
We can't eat
after
lunch.
school
We can't eat lunch in like the
Yeah.
cafeteria. We got to eat lunch in the classroom, and that's the only time you
Back-
can take off your mask.
Right, back in grammar school, you eat in the classroom. It's gonna be like that all over again. And I buy lunch, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
Like off campus?
No, like
No,
we
they
have
don't
a
let us leave.
cafeteria, or like they have like a salad bar, or like you go get like pizza, stuff like that. And so I don't know how it's gonna work this year. And most after school activities are canceled. And since I'm in sports right now, when we're inside the gym, we have to wear masks the whole time while we're working out. And mind you, there's no air in the gym, so it's hot. And I got this covering my face, and so it's a lot.
Oh, so y'all lit with COVID just flying around.
And I graduated the class of 2020. They was gonna have a graduation ceremony today. It was canceled because the students they got sickly. They were partying before graduation. They had a graduation party, and somebody tested positive. And I think almost everybody at the party that were seniors tested positive. So Chanel can walk across the stage today.
Damn. Okay, so speaking of COVID, right? I don't know if you guys watch the news much. I try not to watch it as much because it is a very sad thing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Jada and if who else want to like chime in when Jada's done? Go ahead. What do you think? Okay, I'm gonna say this word. I'm gonna try to get it out as best as I can. How do you feel about them making COVID-19 politicized? They've made it where it's a Democratic issue or it's a Republican issue, where they took the actual, when you sick, it's common sense, don't be around people. How do you feel about them making it in a political statement now?
I don't know. Honestly, it's probably just like literally just for like political views. But like then again, I really don't. Maybe that's how their way of like broadcasting it, if that makes sense. Like saying like how much like how many people are like getting infected and like newly cases that are coming up. And like recently, I don't know about anywhere else, but how Lori Lightfoot was saying that we might be entering phase 3 again. So like maybe I feel like that's like their way of like broadcasting it to everybody that it actually is something. But I also heard that like people are believing that like the government has something to do with like the COVID-19 to begin with. Like they're the reason why it started.
I like conspiracy theories. I love it. I like it. I'm really sad to always hear people, because I work in California in Modesto, right? It's a really, really Central Valley, white, predominantly Trump-loving place. It's all good, though. It's all fine. But they come in my gym, and they're like this. The Democrats made us put the mask on. I don't want to put the mask on. It's against my rights. Do we think having a mask on is against your rights?
No.
Okay,
There's
cool.
no way that.
All we all understand. Matt, you got something?
I feel like, personally, I don't watch the news that often because usually there's not much that I really want to see. It's like always something depressing. But I personally don't understand how, death outside your front door became political. But it's America. Point is, wearing a mask isn't encroaching on your rights as an American. It's saving your life, and it's preventing other people from dying. Personally speaking, I know this sounds bad, I know this sounds mean, but I just feel like if you're going to argue about not wearing a mask, then when you catch COVID, I don't see the point in wasting our resources on you in hospital. You didn't want to wear a mask, so you can go sit in a corner and like bleed out or something. I don't know, bro, but like it's not our problem anymore. You only have
I
to wear
agree.
a mask in public. Like, it's not that hard. Doctors wear masks for 20 hours on end performing surgery, and you got to wear it for what, half an hour? Calm down. It's not that big.
He say, let him go. Let him go, right?
Let him go.
Let him go. So we all agree that wearing a mask is not like against your rights and things like that. It's totally doable. Okay. So I'm a circle back right really quick. This is for whoever want to jump first at it. Are we sensitive to race?
We is in who?
Sensitive as in how?
What do you mean by that?
There's a lot of ways to scale.
I mean, as America, as Black people, as people.
I'm gonna just throw it out there. Are we sensitive to race discussions? Are we sensitive to like the actual views on race? Are we sensitive? You can take the we and make it a you if you want to. You can make it, or you can make it your surrounding area. But are we sensitive? And I'll say Black people, are we sensitive? Because are we quick to right now, currently, are we quick to jump and say that motherfucker's racist?
I mean,
are we sensitive?
Yeah, we are sensitive. We're sensitive to it, but at the same time, we're subject to it. Because the first thing that someone sees when they look at you, they don't just see a human being. If you look at me, you don't just see a man, you see a Black man. That's the first, I'm subject to it. That's a part of who I am. So of course we're sensitive to it. And of course, if somebody's, trying to violate part of who you are, even in the smallest way, you're going to like try to defend yourself. And if you feel like someone is trying to persecute you for looking the way you look or being who you are, then of course you're going to call them racist. It just makes sense.
Amir, are you sensitive to race?
To be honest with you, I'm not sensitive to race. I'm proud of who I am. That's first of all. Second,
hold on, pause. What I don't want you guys to think the sensitive word is a soft word. So I don't want us to be like, oh, I ain't sensitive, because we are like, we have this thing in our brain where we're taught as kids, sensitive is weak.
Yeah. What you mean is the word, like, we react to race.
Yeah, so I want to put that, I want to disclaimer that I don't want you to feel like if I say I'm sensitive, I'm soft or I ain't really tough. So don't think that way. But are you sensitive to it?
None at all. And the reason why I say I'm not sensitive is because I'm just not. I like to hear and discuss race and us as Black people and other races. I don't have a problem with talking about race, but it doesn't bother me. But I do kind of get uncomfortable when I'm talking to other different types of people that can't really relate to our problems. But other than that, I'm not sensitive to it.
Okay.
I think I am.
Oh, go ahead. No.
I think I am.
Right?
But I don't show it. On the inside, but I get real offensive, if that makes sense. But on the outside, I will play it cool. I'll try to get to the bottom. I can talk about it and be mature about it and things like that without throwing that, oh, you're a racist card or something, anything stuff like that. But I try to crack, if I think someone's racist, I try to get them to speak more to see where their views come from. I just had a conversation with she's now a sophomore. She posted something, it was really ignorant. And after talking to her, she said, well, my grandfather was a police officer and a Black man killed him and my grandfather never got justice. So I kind of figured out oh, she maybe feel this way about Black people because this one Black person, that one Black man killed her grandfather.
Ari, do you feel sensitive about race?
I wouldn't use the word sensitive. I would definitely use the word on the offense or on the defense. Nowadays, any person of color, a Black person, has to be ready to confront any everything in America. Like, that's just a sad reality of, like, you know, living here and being a person of color. But I wouldn't say sensitive. I would definitely say, you know, like, I'm ready to give you the facts. I'm ready to, you know, help you understand, or, like, you know, give you resources. Because I'm never like the, you know, to jump down your throat type of person, even if you are openly racist towards me. That's just not who I am as a person. Like, I can't even force myself to be that way. I'm definitely just more open towards people know the truth even is, how it even became. So I won't say sensitive. Definitely, you know, just ready to tell the truth about anything regarding race, especially my race.
So who is sensitive besides writing to it?
Well, I kind of agree with what both of them said. Like, if I could mix what both of them just said, like, I would agree with that. Because, like I feel like, in a way, like, race is such a vulnerable thing, if I'm making sense, especially when that is your identity. Like, for a white person, they may be sensitive to it because they, like, experience white guilt and all that other stuff. But for us, I feel like it's more of a, like, it makes you feel vulnerable to expose a lot of things that are your reality that other people don't go through. And it's like, I don't know, it's weird, especially with, I have a pretty diverse friend group, so with, like, my non-Black friends, like, it's like we talk about it because, like, it's evident that that's my identity, but at the same time, it's like it only goes so far because I feel like the sensitivity part would kick in when I, like, hit stories about experiences, especially as a Black woman, because, like our experiences, like, just like a Black man's experience is just totally different from a Black woman's experience. I feel like a lot of things that I've experienced as a Black woman, like, it's just things that some of my friends wouldn't even be able to comprehend. Like, they would just literally not have any words for it. So I don't know. So it's like, it's a weird in between, but it's definitely a vulnerable thing, in my opinion.
Hey, Bella, so that flag is Puerto Rican flag, right?
Yeah.
Boricua, what's up, mommy? Aye. Hey, so is that a thing in the Puerto Rican community? Like, where race is a weird thing?
Yeah, so because we come here dark, you know, there's dark Puerto Ricans, there's light skins like me. So believe it or not, most dark skinned Puerto Ricans always get mistaken as being Black, and they get treated the same way. Obviously, I just think it goes, I feel like in our generation, we are very more vocal about it, especially because of social media is a very big thing. Our generation is very, like, with social media, and I think we like to express ourselves more within social media, which gives us more of a voice. And then when we speak in person, we just don't, like, I feel like our generation just doesn't tolerate it. Like, I feel like older generations kind of, it was obviously different back then in the days and stuff, where they couldn't really have that much of a voice. But I feel like with our generations and, like, upcoming generations, we definitely have way more of a voice, and, like, about race, and, like, we just don't, I feel like things will change, like, within upcoming generations, especially starting with, like, us and, like, older ones. So
for sure. I think Jada be sensitive about it. You be sensitive, Jada? or you kind of hood still. You like, I don't give no fuck. I'm cool. I'm whatever. Sure.
I think it would be more of, like, a caution thing, like more cautious than, like, sensitive, if that makes sense. Like, I don't mind, like, explaining stuff until it's, like, to the point where they're just ignorant. You know what I mean? Like almost kind of like teaching, like, human decency kind of thing. I don't know, but other than, like, I don't mind, like, explaining stuff and, like, hearing people out. Like, I'm fine with that. But until the point where it's just, like, pure ignorance and, like, it's obvious that it's ignorant, is like, I don't feel the need to, like, continue that conversation.
Joe, you've been called a nigga by a white girl, so you definitely sensitive, right? Or no?
In a way,
She just
like
know it. She just be like straight. She don't. She just straight. She don't care.
no, I feel like, but this is the thing though. I didn't hear it, so I just know that it was said. But I feel like it would have been different. Maybe I feel like if it was towards my face, I would definitely be like more sensitive, as you say. But like, see, I don't know what you mean by like sensitive, so I can't really.
Okay, so I'll give you my take on it. For me, the ones who know me, y'all know I'm sensitive about it. I'm ready to jump on whoever, whenever. I'm ready for that action. I feel like sensitive. When I think about it is when it makes you uncomfortable. Like you
Yeah.
in a space where somebody say something, even borderline, and your skin just start to crawl because now you got to be like you said, cautious or alert. I got to be equipped with everything that I got. So now I'm real sensitive to any word that could be, that could lead to them saying anything bad about me or thinking bad about me. When Matt big ass go in the store, his antennas gonna go up because shit, he about 6'3" and he about like 2 something. So he gonna be real sensitive when he walks in the room as far as what he gonna touch, what he gonna feel, what he gonna say. So for me, that sensitive thing, for me, I'm like ultra sensitive because I'm ready for whatever. It's like if somebody touch you and tap you on the shoulder, you're gonna react real quick. So for me, that's what sensitive I take from it. So I'm super sensitive. I'm super, like I already said, on the defense or on the offense. I'm like all those things in a big bucket because I'm defending every second that I need to breathe and stay in because I don't want anybody to say anything to me or make me feel a certain way. Go ahead, Jody. Oh, she go. I don't want to feel that way. So sensitive for me is a really, really big deal. And I think most of you guys has either experienced some form of like racist act. Um, so either you have or you haven't. But when you reach that pinnacle, you sit there and you get that bullshit. It's like, oh no. I'm like, oh no, like me and Jada talk on the phone almost every other day, and I'll be like telling her about my white people stories, and she said, "Why you be acting like that?" I'm like, "Bro, because I'm ready." I'm like, I'm so hostile because I don't want anybody to perceive me in a different way. Now, and my next question for my actions is that does that uh, is that counter does that make any sense to people if I act that way if I perceive myself as an angry black man? Mia, you looking like you're thinking, Mia.
I mean, no, it shouldn't change who you are as a person. I mean, I feel like as for me, I come off as sweet, kind, humble, things of that nature. I don't really come off as like trying to be hard and stuff like that because I'm not built like that. I'm not trying to be like everybody else. I'm just me. So it's like in certain type of situations, I don't like react and stuff like that. I just walk away in like certain situations because like I'm not the type to like try to like argue and like try to like fight and like draw attention to myself. So I just don't do those type of things. And plus I really don't have time for that. So I just don't. I just try to keep things peace and
Okay. You took yours off mute, like you was about to say something.
I was just gonna say, I mean, in terms of how, you say you're sensitive or you're hostile or anything like that, I mean, it's completely valid. I mean, you have 400 years on your side with how you can respond to anything pertaining to your race. It definitely wouldn't be my go-to, because what I've seen of how other people handle those situations and like a more like a touchy situation is it kind of makes the situation worse. Not all the time, but most of the time it does because no one likes to be yelled at or anything like that. And I've going to a film with for 4 years. You can clearly see like no one likes to be yelled at. No one likes to be called out on their mess. But it's like some people definitely needs to be called out on their stuff, and so it's all about like how you go about it. and then what you want to see, come from that situation. Like, do you want to end up in a fight? Do you want to end up arguing? Do you want this, and this to happen? Do you want something or do you want something positive to come from it? Do you want them to actually, start understanding where you're coming from, where these feelings are coming from, why they can't say certain things? It's not our job to educate, but it's our current position right now, because nobody wants to educate their kids. No one wants to hold anyone accountable. So I think this is all about what you want from the encounter that you do have. But I do completely agree with you when you say, like, we kind of do have to be sensitive about certain stuff, like, walking around in the store while being Black, walking down the street while breathing while being Black. So I understand.
I appreciate you understanding me. She gets me, guys. She gets me. She knows me. She knows I'm loco. So I know we all know Nick Cannon, right? We're gonna go a little bit over it. Hopefully y'all had heard a little bit about Nick Cannon. Do we feel like, okay, right? So let me say this that one. They hear Black Lives Matter, and it's okay. We understand. We get you. What do we think about when Black folks say anything negative about Jews, and how the world is quickly ready to run to the aid of Jews?
Do you know what he said specifically? Because I can't find it.
I was trying to find it right now, but they said they're trying to make it like it was anti. What's the word? I can't get it.
Like, basically saying that we are the true, like the true Hebrews, like we are the true, Black people are the true, like the true race.
The Israelites, we're the true Israelites.
Yeah, something like that. I think he said Hebrews, something like that.
We is though. In the Bible it says, what it say about Jesus. They said it. I mean, his skin was like what, Matt? His hair was like what, Matt? It was like mine. You're on mute too if you're trying to talk.
I gotta figure that out. Yeah, I don't know. For the whole Nick Cannon thing, I'm not sure, but
because he got fired. But I have no issues. I have no issues with someone getting fired over racist views or demeaning views of a group of people. I have no issues with that. That's not the problem. I think the issue for me stands when this get handled so quickly. Then we could take the My Sons, what's the receiver name? Houston, Texas, Kenny Stills, and them. They literally was like protesting, and they're getting charged with felony charges. Felony charges. We all know what felonies do to your shit. It's over for you after a felony. It's over. They're getting charged quickly within like a day or two. But if we look at Breonna's murderers, they're still on the force. So I think my issue is with how quickly they move to incriminate us and to lock us up or to just put us in a corner, how quickly it is. But anytime something is being said about the Jews, and I don't think I have met a Jew, to be honest with you. I don't think I have met a Jew. I don't know if I have. Maybe I did. But anytime they say anything remote, Jews got all the money. People run to them. How do we feel about that? Or we don't have any feelings on that?
Well, I feel like since they control a lot of stuff, which is pure facts, like it's not a bias. Like if you go on Hollywood, you can literally just find out who owns stuff on Google and Wikipedia. They literally own a lot of stuff, which means they have a lot of capital. And in this country, capital controls everything. Like if you don't have no money, good luck. Like nothing is gonna go your way. So I feel like it's always a quick response because money talks and power talks in this country. And they are the ones who typically have a lot of money and power in the media and the mainstream stuff, especially out west on the West Coast, even on Wall Street, like it's a lot of Jewish people. So I feel like we look at that and we're like, well, how come they move so fast and everything gets solved with them? Well, it's because like their people are issuing the checks and their people are the ones controlling stuff. So like rightfully so, they're gonna act just like if we had a bunch of Black people owning a bunch of like television networks or something like, or anything else. Like I'm pretty sure that if a white person says something against us, if they are a down to earth black person, not one of the people that be out here going crazy, but if they're a down to earth black person, like they gonna get that handle quick because they have the money and they have the power. I feel like the issue for us is like, it's just that we don't have nobody up there yet. Like our people are consistently like progressing, which is fine. Like I'm not shaming our people because like no one's at the top. Like we have a few, but like not enough to move the way that they move. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so hold on before we my last one. This is like I love basketball. I love NBA. All right, so I'm gonna paint the picture for you. All right, so the NBA is allowing the players to put other things on the back of their jerseys besides their names. So they can use any social slogan that the NBA prescribed to them. So whether it's Black Lives Matter, equality, justice, for whatever they want to use. Some players are saying they're not going to put that on their back. LeBron James himself said, I am not going to put those on my back. I'm going to use my name. For me, I think that is like a very, very strong and powerful narrative that he's pushing because they prescribe them what they should put on the back of their jersey. What do we think about that?
I feel like it's kind of like how all these businesses were rushing to say that they support the Black Lives Matter movement, and like what is it, Starbucks, I don't know, Popeye, Subway, every major conglomerate that you could see that you run into on the regular. As soon as the Black Lives Matter movement showed up, they started to show their support. And while that is appreciated, at some point it feels disingenuous because it seems less like it's from support, but more like we want you guys to keep buying stuff from us, like it's because you want us to keep coming for you, like to keep coming back to you. And that's kind of how it feels with this NBA thing to me personally. I feel like this isn't a move that's based out of solely good intentions. I feel like it's still something of a marketing ploy or some kind of just, some way to get attention. Like, yeah, we're doing good things over here. Come watch basketball, like stuff like that. It doesn't feel like it's solely because the problem at hand. It feels like it's because, yes, we want to show support, but at the same time, we want to make money off of this,
Yeah.
I initially thought that he was afraid to lose what I call cracker coins, his cracker coins. But then I agree with Matt. Like I kind of like realized that him saying no would probably drive some people to not watch basketball, and that would stop feeding into like they would stop cracker coin money from from flowing, if that makes sense.
Well, so from my understanding, when he said I'm not going to do that, it's like this. Your oppressors are giving you options to be whipped. He's like, nah, I don't want those options. I'll get my own option if I really want to take it that way. It's a shitty thing when the people who are in charge, white people, of a all black, 95% black league, is giving you slogans about black stuff, but just so out of bounds. I couldn't go to a Puerto Rican parade and say, hey y'all, we doing this. You know, who the fuck is you? Like, nah, we ain't nice for that. We ain't nice for that, bro. Nah. You can come, you can kick it, but I can't run the party. I couldn't go to my house and be like, nah, man, we cooking this shit tonight. No, dude. Nah, I can suggest things. Go ahead, Jay. You had to.
Like what Matthew was saying, how like it became a part of like the marketing. Like now, I feel like it's like another thing. Like to me, I feel like it's just a trend. Like to people now, like
Oh,
this
exactly.
like, oh yeah, like we support it, because we're just gonna say it because everybody's saying it. It's not really because they support it, you know. So I feel like with LeBron, like actually doing that, like no, I don't want to put nothing on my back, but my name, like I sit with that. Like I would do the same thing.
But are we mad that it's trendy? Are we okay that it's trendy?
No, I think it's trending for the wrong reason.
Exactly. It's not trending because the problem at hand. It's trendy because everyone's doing it, you know?
Yeah.
And what's more powerful from LeBron to put on his back than his name? A black man who made it to the top and stayed at the top for how many years? Like, there's no message he could put on his back that matters more than his own name.
But do we care how we get across the finish line? Or we care about how we're presented in history? Because if we make the adjustments, when we get the adjustment we want, we get the legislation we want, do we care how it happens? Or we want it to be our way, we want it to be the right way? How does that work? Because we can't have it both ways. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out. I'm playing devil's advocate right now.
I mean, it does matter to me how we get across the line. Like, I don't think we want it really handed to us. And at the same time, we don't want to cross the finish line with the victim narrative. You know, we want justice. We don't want people to hand it to us like, oh, you guys are going through it. Yeah, let's help you out. No. We presented this to our government and we fixed our own problem. But you're right. We can't have it both ways, but we can try.
No, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Go ahead, Lexi.
I feel like it definitely matters how it happens. Now, to the extent, like in detail, I don't like that's up for debate. But I feel like it matters because, like, if you think back to like the civil rights movement with MLK, like that's the reason why. Fast forward to 2020, we have all of these older white people saying like, "Oh, well, I marched with MLK, or my so and so marched with MLK, or I supported the civil rights movement, or I did this back in the civil rights era." But they're the same white people who like commit so many microaggressions, and they just have it. They have no idea, and that's because like it goes back to the trending thing. Like back then, people were feeling the pressure of the civil rights movement. They were like, okay, you know, I have to show up for what's right for America or whatever. And now it's like, because they only felt the pressure because they felt like they had to conform, it was like a half-assed job. So if we fast forward from 2020 on like what 30, 40, 50 years down the line, people of our generation gonna be doing the same thing, except it's not MLK that they talking about they were marching with. It's like the Black Lives Matter movement, because it was like all the companies were getting onto it, all of the sports players, the celebrities, etc. And it's like, to a certain extent, it's important that it's a trend because it's reaching people that I'm telling you, like Black Lives Matter would never have reached certain social groups, like period. But because it's trending, like everybody's feeling the pressure, but the people that it needs to hit, like it's gonna be another half-assed thing in like 50 years, in my opinion.
I feel like people are.
Go ahead.
Bella, go ahead, Bella. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think obviously our goal is to cross the finish line, but on the other hand, I think we just want people to be like genuine about it and not just show for trend or not just show for because it's cool or whatever. Like our other goal is to actually teach and educate other people to kind of see, you know, like about our rights and just know about where like we come from. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like there's like different goals to, obviously we want to finish the finish line, like we want to cross there, but like during that process, there needs to be like people being like reading, educating themselves about it and not just doing it for show or for like just to shut us up or for fun or whatever. So.
Okay, so you said you want people to be genuine about it. How do we see that? How do we see people's real genuine selves and genuine emotions to the black stuff, to the Black lives? Because I don't think
we see that when we see people educating themselves, you know, like people really taking an interest in this, people making a stand, not just showing up, not just doing it because they want to be on the right side of history. They're doing it because they care about it. It's not just because somebody needed a handout. No, if you see people really searching up on it, people really trying to push legislation, people standing by you through thick and thin, then you're going to, that's when you can recognize who's here for clout and who's here to really make some change.
So I agree with that. I couldn't get the word out. I agree with that. My only thing is this. For me personally, do we really care if you only doing it to be on the right side of it? Because if that's all I get out of you, that's all I get out of you. Make sure you're on the right side of history. That's all. Cool. Because I think the biggest thing is this is where white people who like from the right, they have like this view of where us on the left or whatever, us Democrats, us black folks, we're attached to emotions a little too much.
Mm.
We use that instead of all right, cool. Man, you don't fuck with me? Hey, just hide my money on the first day. I don't gotta like you. Just hide my stuff when I need it. I don't really need you to do no homework on me, personally. If you don't do no homework on the black plight, cool. Just make sure you're on the right side of history. Make sure you're doing your diligence if you're in office to make sure you get my vote. Because we ain't never ever really gonna be here.
That's true.
I think that's impossible. It's impossible for Jada to have the same life as Emil or Bella to have the same life as Jody. It's never gonna be that. So at this point, I don't really care about if you're doing it for a trend, because everybody doing it for a trend. Let's just be 100 with it. Everybody doing it because it's trendy everywhere. They don't say Black Lives Matter. They say BLM. It's cool now. Cool term.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody doing it because it's trendy. Your people you work with, your white friends you got, even your black friends who ain't never really been like involved in it. It's just like shit. BLM, brother. Black Lives Matter, but only know Martin Luther King.
That's true.
They don't know about Mr. Marcus Garvey. They don't know about. They only know about the shit they was told. So they ain't really did their homework themselves. You know what I mean? So at this point, it's about give me what I came for mine. We trading off now. We trade. This is real commerce right now. Hey, you want something from us? We want something from you. Do it, and that's cool. We ain't got to be buddies. We ain't got to be emotionally connected because we ain't never gonna be emotionally connected. And I think that's what we got to understand that as a group of people, they ain't never gonna like emotionally know us because in our bloodline, like in your blood, your emotions, you're like your DNA is attached to people who can like emotionally hurt for years. So they ain't never gonna really understand that plight. So we got to get away from emotion, I think, and just be cold hard. Like Donald Trump. I don't like him. He cold hearted. He be like, shit. Y'all go to church on Easter Sunday and get that shit from everybody. That's what he talking about. So hey, but we've reached our hour. Jody, got anything you want to say before we get off here, Jody? Jada? Okay, cool. They like, hey, I want to thank everybody for hopping on this call with us. Like I said, we're gonna share, we're gonna post it. For our viewers out there, if you see this and you're watching it, share comments, post things, just go crazy on us. I'm gonna post you guys Instagram stuff. Everybody got Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna post everybody's Instagram. Well, Jay's gonna do that. Jay just get the description.
I need Matthew's Instagram and Amir's.
I'll send it all to you. I got everybody's stuff. I'll send it all to you, Jack.
All right, I got y'all.
Come back, let us know.
Yeah, but we appreciate everybody. And also we got some stuff in the works too as far as I'll be in contact with some of y'all. So we're gonna be sending stuff too on the trip. We're gonna be sending stuff to y'all. But we appreciate you guys jumping on our Chicago 45 episode number 4. We ain't sending no money. No, we probably send some money. We may send that. I love all you guys. See you guys really soon. Peace out, Chicago 45.
Bye.
Oh,
all right, peace, bro.
Have a good one. See y'all.